How you guys doing? Today we're going to be reviewing the Adidas Adizero Eco SL. This is not to be confused with the high-end $500 Evo 1. Just to clarify on that. I know it looks pretty much just like it. So today I'm just going to do a very simple stripped down review of this. Not going to take a ton of time on this because it's honestly pretty simple shoe. So I weighed this shoe in at 7.9 ounces, which is very light. It's very nice. In terms of drop, it was 38.5 and 32 for a 6.5 millimeter drop from heel to toe. In terms of just like how this shoe is kind of set up, it's like I said, it's pretty simple. We do have these kind of thinner laces, quite a bit of eyelets for a shoe like this, to be honest. Sometimes it's kind of more simplified, but there's quite a bit of eyelets, which I don't know if I love that, but I didn't have any issues with it. The tongue isn't gusseted. That was the one, I think that's probably the worst score I had on the entire shoe in terms of just kind of comparing it against everything else. But yeah, we'll just kind of go through it. So yeah, so the laces, I kind of gave it just an average score of 7.5. The tongue, I gave it a 7, a little less than kind of average. The upper, I gave it an 8. You can kind of tell it's pretty see-through. I don't know if you can see that, but it is almost see-through. So it felt really good on hot days and things like that. But nothing too crazy. I did give that, like I said, a score of an 8, so it is a little better than average. I think it's pretty solid. The insole, just an average score of 7.5, nothing fancy there. The midsole, I gave it an 8. I think the midsole, it honestly, it feels great. It's the Light Strike Pro. I think the only reason I'm not giving it a higher score is it might be a little bit too soft for my liking. I think it definitely gets the job done for kind of what I'm using it for, but it doesn't have quite the pop that I think I do better with, and maybe a little bit. I needed a little bit firmer of a ride, but in terms of it feeling good underfoot, it feels really nice. It's bouncy. It's pretty stinking soft, but for me, I want a little bit more pop, a little bit firmer of a ride. So I think this would work for a lot of people. It's just maybe not the ideal midsole for me. But I still gave it a better score than like an average kind of hybrid trainer like this shoe is. In terms of the outsole, I gave it an 8. I think it's good. Anytime you put Continental rubber on the bottom of a shoe, I think it's going to do well. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty durable. I mean, obviously it has some exposed midsole in there, which that'll probably wear down pretty quick. But I think I have 60 or 70 miles in it, so you can tell there's some, I guess there's a little bit of wear, but not really. I mean, there's not really much wear at all, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, it's not that many miles in it yet, so we'll see when it gets to closer to about 200 miles. Let's see. In terms of like the drop, I like the drop. 6.5 is good. I like staying between 4 and 8 typically. So for me, I like that. So I give that an 8. The weight I gave it an 8.5 because anything under 8 ounces for a hybrid or trainer, not a racing shoe, is really good. So that's a really high score there. And then durability, I gave it a 7.5 because I think that'll be pretty standard. I don't think it's gonna last much more than I think you can probably get 400, maybe 500 miles out of this. I don't know, which still quite a bit. But I don't know if I would put it. I don't know personally if I would run more than 300 miles or 350 miles in a shoe like this, just because I think I would like to be more on the cautious side. In terms of looks, I gave it a 9. I think it looks sleek, looks incredible. I really like this colorway. They have a lot of other cool colorways too. Yeah, I think Adidas really killed it on the looks of a shoe. Very sleek. In terms of versatility, I gave it an 8, so a little bit better than average. I think it's pretty stinking versatile. I'll kind of tell you just kind of how I'm using it and how I think other people will end up using this shoe. For me, I like using this shoe kind of as a mixed run. It's good for intervals, but I kind of use it as a mixed run shoe because I can warm up with a few miles and then go into a workout and then cool down with a few miles and just keep this shoe on. So like, let's say you're doing a workout from the house, you run to the trails, it takes you a mile, 2 miles. So you can just wear this one shoe for all of it. And so in terms of that, I think it makes it pretty versatile. The only reason why I don't think I'm giving it even higher score is, for me personally, this isn't a shoe I would just strap on just to go do like a normal easy run. I think it lacks a little bit of stability at slower paces. Now, faster paces, I don't really have any issues with the stability of the support or anything like that. But slower, I'm just like, I'd rather just wear a normal daily trainer if I want to do that. And then I think beyond half marathon distance, I don't think it would feel great. I think this cushion would compress, since there isn't any rods in this or anything, any carbon rods. I think it would compress maybe a little bit too much. So for a longer run, I wouldn't necessarily use it. So yeah, in terms of versatility, it's pretty versatile, but it's not it could be more versatile, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then in terms of price, I gave it an 8.5, which is a really good score. It's $150. That's really solid for a shoe that's light, fast, and as versatile as it is. I think this is a really quality shoe. Great for rotation. Like I said before, the way I'm using it is kind of mixed runs. Like if I'm doing like a fartlek, or if I'm gonna do some like mile repeats on the roads, or intervals, that kind of thing. So I would say more threshold, tempo-y type work. You can pick it up even faster than that. But I think once you get to like 10K-ish effort, I would rather go with something kind of old-fashioned flat, or like a carbon-plated racing shoe. So this kind of puts it in that kind of tempo-y type effort for me. Overall, this scored 7.96, which is kind of in between two zones for me, but I'm going to put it in the rotationable and buy again category. It doesn't quite make it in the favorites category for me. It's really close. I think maybe the next iteration of this, if they make a few changes, like they firm up the midsole just a touch, maybe make it a little bit more supportive, maybe a tiny bit more durable, I think then you might have a favorites type shoe. Who is this shoe kind of best for? I think it's probably best for someone that is changing paces in their training. So if you're just running easy, you're just running for fitness, I don't think this is a shoe that would even be necessary. If you're training for a marathon or a half marathon, you have a lot of threshold work thrown in there, a lot of mixed runs, this is a great shoe for you. Even for people that don't want to run a race in a carbon-plated racing shoe, this would be a good alternative. It's definitely light enough and fast enough and snappy enough for the right kind of person. Again, if you don't like a super plush, you want a little bit firmer of a ride, this probably wouldn't be the best choice. If you really struggle with stability, this probably again wouldn't be a choice I would take. But it's solid overall. Nothing to complain really about the shoe. Hope you found this review helpful, and hope you have a good rest of your day.